Reliability, again, huge. Thin clients are designed without the parts that fail most and are up to 9 times more reliable than PCs. Yet, they typically use 1/10 of the energy, generate little heat, and no fan noise. So as you can imagine, especially in nurses' workstations or in labs and that thing and that sort, that's a great attribute to have. Once from a deployment, rapid deployment, as mentioned earlier, once your data center installation is in place, adding users is easy. Just put a thin client in replacement of the desktop, plug in the power and the network, and it's ready to go. Literally 0 configuration, 0 management. So IT can spend more time, and this sort of goes to the cost benefits piece on the left side. You're going to spend more time, IT will spend more time working on more proactive things than doing a break-fix thing that literally can take and consume 90 to 95% of their time. Again, as I mentioned earlier, because there's no fans, no moving parts, they draw very little power. So if you have some type of internal green initiative, the thin clients is the way to go. They draw, on average about 6 to 8 watts versus a PC, which is 70 to 100, 125 watts. Average PC is about $100 in power per year. Average thin client is about $15 to $20. So as you can imagine, if you have thousands of PCs, let alone right there, the costs and savings that will make your CFO very happy. And then in the event they do die, it's basically a 90% reduction in e-waste because the physical form factor is nothing, of course, like a PC is. For us, again, we are agnostic. Whether it's you're doing a straight terminal services, a virtual client, a zero client. We have OEM relationships, of course, with Microsoft, Citrix, and VMware, where we've actually built sole purpose devices that are literally meant to be pulled out of the box and connect to those types of servers. And the most important part is the thin client experience is just as good, if not better, than a PC because they are connecting to a very rich and powerful back-end system where Outlook is sitting right next to Exchange. That EMR application is sitting right there. Everything is pulling from the data center using efficient protocols like ICA, RDP, PC over IP to help send those screenshots and keystrokes down to that zero device. So you're going to get your full functionality of USBs if you have a need for that. Multimedia, right? So whether the multimedia is rendered locally on the thin client or it's rendered on the server side, the brokers are intuitive to know where and how best to render that video. So our experience, from what we hear 90% of the time, is that when we replace PCs, the experience is better because as we all know with PCs, the best day is when you get one and it's the best day is when somebody rips it off your desk because over time things get, with endpoint security locking it down, things get tied up in the registry. I think a lot of us over the years have cranked up their machine and it gives you that 5 to 10 minutes to go get your coffee. Well, with thin clients, you're always getting a brand new clean instance of the virtual machine. So it's like the very first day, every day, of getting that brand new PC when it comes to firing it up and gaining access to your applications. Here, this next screen here is basically the different thin client options that we have. We have them built for your simple task worker that still can render high-end video and do flash, but it's, for instance, the one on the left there is our C class. That's going to be great for your office productivity, but it's still going to do great with EMR and your CPOE type applications. To our mobile thin clients, as I mentioned earlier, same principles of thin client, no hard drive, no fan, but yet they're going to give you that full portability that you need. all Wi-Fi capability, and they're going to give you that extended life cycle that you may not see today with your mobile devices, to our more high-performance PC-like thin clients, 1.5 gigahertz, dual ATI video cards. We see this a lot with PACS imaging, where people are doing more graphical or higher resolution needs or high-def video. We basically, there's really not a point now where you need a PC. A thin client can 99.9% fit into any type of healthcare environment. So a little bit about Wyse. We've been around for 30 years. We, as I mentioned earlier, we have key OEM relationships with Microsoft, Citrix, VMware, no particular order. Actually, as of late, or for the first half of this year, I should say, 1 out of 2 thin clients that ship are Wyse thin clients. This is a recent IDC stat. So very powerful. We're about 400 employees worldwide with 3 locations for development. Of our 400 employees, 200 of them are software developers. Having our own code, the FinOS, we're able to customize. We do a lot of customization for customers. So whether it's getting it to uniquely boot up straight into a particular application or a particular look and feel, or we have to build a custom fix or something, we have that ability to do that versus our competitors who are traditionally just slapping a Windows embedded operating system and slapping on top of some type of Intel platform, and here you go. We have a tremendous amount of resources to help you when you are making your decisions, whether it's just publishing applications or doing a full-blown virtual desktop. What are the TCO and benefits of doing that, and why should you do that? Well, I think we all pretty much can see where the industry is going, especially with virtual desktop, the ability to centralize data, centralize applications, and now centralize the desktop operating system to where I make my updates and changes and application regression testing at that one location. I no longer need to go from site to site, imaging machines, and of course using the famous sneakerware. That is no longer a requirement. So we have on our website, and a lot of the data actually comes from our own customers, we have a really nice TCO calculator where you can actually plug in your own data to help build supporting documentation for a virtual desktop or published application deployment. The same goes for Citrix, VMware, Microsoft. They all have their white papers too, so I would encourage you to go there as well. And of course, we have a ton of white papers and customer case studies. As mentioned, healthcare is my #1 vertical for Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. I have a lot of local customers here with thousands of Wyse devices being used in production, and whoever's on this call today, if you want to reach out to the folks at CentriNet and set up some on-site meetings with them, I can always surely facilitate that as well. So that is my presentation for the day. I will open it up to any Q&A that somebody may have. I know that there are a couple of folks out there on the line. So, Val, if you want to open up the lines, I would surely appreciate that.
Okay. Well, I am